Hey guys, TNT King here. Sorry about the delayed videos. I fortunately just haven't found the time to make them, but now I have. So today I'm actually going to be reviewing something which I've had for a while now. I've been wanting to review it for a bit now, and that is this foam model of Thor's hammer from God of War Ragnarok. So looking at this just looks so cool. It looks heavily accurate, from the weathering details to the Nordic runes that adorn it like tattoos, to the golden bits that it wears like jewellery. It's just such an amazing model. It's made out of a very dense foam, so I can swing this around and hit things with it. Oh, sugar. Hit things with it. And it won't break. Now, there is just one inaccuracy, and that is the handle is a bit longer. But I suppose since Thor in the game is quite a big person, looking like Eddie Hall on stuff, which I'm not going to say because I'll get, demonetized. Other than that, a pretty cool toy. Got this, or collectible, and I'll see this as a cosplay piece. This is from a website known as AliExpress. You can find all sorts of items, including the Blades of Chaos and the Leviathan Axe. But I chose to go with Thor's hammer because Thor is my favourite Norse god. You can probably see why. Stan Lee. Rest in peace. Heroes died in Endgame, but we lost a legend. Anyways, so yeah, let's get over to the details. So details-wise, this is heavily detailed, to say the least. For the handle, it has a sort of basic brownish red wood colouring with hints of gold for the pommel and these little sort of button bits. Fortunately, mine seems to have a bit of weathering on it, but I mean, I'm not really complaining. I love this thing so much. It's like one of my favourite cosplay pieces of all times. Just to go with a Thor cosplay which I'm planning. For the actual hammerhead, it has this sort of gunmetal grey silver look. It's been sort of painted and sculpted to look weathered, like this thing just came fresh out of a forge. See if I get up close, all the Nordic runes which light up in the game. And yeah, as now, let's get on to playability. So play-wise, again, it's made out of a strong foam. It does somewhat bend and flex, a lot like my Jason Voorhees axe, but it's not as much. You can barely notice it unless you shake it hard enough or bend it. As for swinging, I can swing this to my heart's content without the fear of it snapping. Of course, I won't hit it against anything too hard because I might end up with a stick and a hammerhead instead of an actual hammer. But yeah, now I heavily advise, if you are buying this, not to hit people with it. This isn't really meant to be toyed with. This is more of a collectible, something that you would buy for a costume or to decorate your house. Same with the other stuff. If you are going to play with this, I put a lot of caution into your swings so you don't accidentally hurt someone, because this is actually quite heavy. I will eventually do a video or short detailing how heavy this thing is, but other than that, yeah, be careful when swinging around with hammers. The old saying goes, you play with a hammer, you get a headache. Maybe hoping that's not saying, but it is now. So, I might as well get over with the history with this hammer. So let's get to it. A long, long time ago. A long, long time ago, in a place known as Asgard, Loki, the trickster god, or the god of mischief, planned his most diabolical scheme yet. He snuck into Sif's room. Sif is the goddess of beauty and fertility, and Thor's wife. So you already know he's playing with death if he's pranking Thor's wife. Thor, the god of thunder, who has the power to bench press a mountain. I think. He probably could. So yeah, he snuck into Sif's room and cut her golden hair off. Yeah, he's just playing with death at this point. It was funny at first, don't get me wrong. Until you realise again, that's Thor's wife he mucked around with. And you know what the saying goes, you muck around, you find out. I'm saying a different word because I don't want to get demonetized, YouTube. So yeah, what was I saying now? So now, Thor's angry. I'd be angry too if my own adoptive brother cut off my wife's hair. So Loki, knowing that he's messed up, thought of a way to rectify his mistake and fix it. So he turned to the dwarves. I'm going to try and say this. I know it's in my head somewhere. Let me think. Svartalheim, in Nidavellir, which is a city in Svartalheim. So Loki goes there, and he's like, right, I need to think of an idea. I know, I'll pin two dwarven families against each other in a competition. That way it's a bit more exciting, you know, and so they'll actually build something. So first, he visited the sons of Ivaldi and told him that a rival dwarven family, the Holdra brothers, Brock and Sindri, claimed that they were the best blacksmiths in the 9 realms and challenged them to a competition. Loki stated that they must build 3 gifts for the gods, including a replacement for Sif's hair. And they agreed because, I mean, who doesn't want to, you know, prove someone wrong? I feel like that's the reason why most wars happen. Anyways, so now Loki goes to the Holdra brothers and says the same thing, but pins it around saying that the sons of Ivaldi said so. And they were actually smart and only agreed if Loki put his head in the deal, which meant if they won, he'd forfeit his head. So Loki agreed because he needs to get them to listen. So now he faces a new problem. If the brothers Brock and Sindri win, then they get his head. But if they lose, he lives, but runs the risk of encountering his brother. So he thinks of a new plan. So Brock commands Sindri to man the bellows, or is it Sindri that commands Brock? It doesn't matter. And not to stop pumping it, even if it kills him. That sounded wrong. Anyways, so the first thing that they put on the forge is a bit of hog's hair. For some reason, you'll see why later. So they do that, and a small horsefly flies in, but it's actually Loki. Since he's a shapeshifter, he's shifted into a horsefly. So he lands on Brock's arm and bites his arm, but he doesn't flinch. Next, they put a solid piece of gold on the forge, and this time Loki lands on Sindri and bites his neck, and he still doesn't flinch. And finally, they put a large block of iron on the top of the forge. And this time, Loki lands right on Brock's eye and bites as hard as he could. And for only a few seconds, he lets go. Even if it was for a millisecond, their thing was ruined. And I don't blame him for flinching. If a horsefly bit my eyelid, I would freak the heck out. So their final gift had failed. So Loki flew out and came back in his normal self like, "Hey guys, totally did not just come here and bite yous. Yeah, come on, come to Asgard. It's time to present your gifts." So they go there, and the first thing they present is the brothers of Aldi present first. The first thing they present is a replacement for Sif's hair, sort of like a wig, which grows and grows and glows a beautiful golden colour like a wheat field. I'm really telling a story at this point. The next gift was for Odin, the All-Father, and that is a spear that can penetrate through anything. And finally, for Freyr, the god of to be honest, I forgot what his powers are, but they're cool. They give him a cloth that can unravel into a boat that flies, because why the heck not? I'll get that later. And now the Huldra brothers present their gifts. So the first gift is a golden boar, which will pull Tyr's chariot, and it can even fly, because why the heck not? This is Norse mythology. I'm losing it at this point. Next, for Odin, again, they give him a bracelet or ring in God of War called Dropnir, which multiplies every ninth month. No, this is Norse mythology. Nothing makes sense. And finally, for Thor, a hammer that can channel his energy. As he examines it, he notices the handle is a bit short. And Loki, obviously, being a little thing, I was about to say someone else there, but YouTube, and because my channel's kid friendly, they give, Loki gives a little smirk, and you're like, the hand is too smart. I sound like Jim Carrey. But Brock explains what it does. Mjolnir will never shatter, never miss his mark, is thrown, and will always return to the user. So, despite their comically short handle, the gods deemed that this was the best gift they have ever received. Now Loki's in trouble. He tries to flee the scene, but Thor catches up to him. Right as that's wrong, that's from Marvel. Sindri and Brock go to claim their reward. Loki points something out, which is actually pretty smart, even for me. They had the rights to his head, but not his neck. And although they all begrudgingly agreed, it was Brock who would have the last laugh. Taking a needle, he stitched Loki's mouth shut, so he could not spew his mad ramblings. I gotta take notes. I'm just joking. And even though this ending's bittersweet for the God of Mischief, if it weren't for him, there would be no Mjolnir. So yeah, that is Mjolnir's history. So closing thoughts on this? I'd give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. this would be a 10 out of 10 if the handle was just a bit smaller and the golden details weren't a bit more weathered and don't just look brown. Like, look, this is meant to be gold, but it's brown instead. However, I will definitely be getting the Leviathan axe and Blades of Chaos to do a Kratos sort of weapons. I think they also do his shield. So yeah, I give this a 9.5 out of 10. Maybe a 10 out of 10, you know? Yeah, you know what? Scratch that. 10 out of 10. Would 100% recommend. You can find this on AliExpress, Amazon, and possibly eBay. And yeah, it's a good, sort of, I'm not going to say replacement, more alternative, if you haven't got the Jotnar or Collector's Edition of God of War Ragnarok, because it had a small plastic mjolnir model. You can also find actual metal ones of these. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified about my later videos, and make sure to comment as well what you think of this this weapon from the past and from video games. This is TNT King signing off. This is what dying feels like. Try to catch me around and do it.